I feel like everyone has lived the experience of listening to their favorite songs or playlists at the gym in order to hype themselves up, but then for some reason, you don't really enjoy that music anymore. The music just doesn't motivate you like it used to, nor do you feel the urge to like bust out the lyrics or bob your head really enthusiastically along with the song. I took a step away from listening to music at the gym, and this is what I learned. And I also think these lessons apply universally and not only to the gym. The first thing is just your ability to engage with the world socially. When you have earphones in with music playing full volume, you're kind of siphoned off from society in a way because you're unable to communicate with other people because you're not going to be able to hear what they're saying. You're essentially being deprived of one of your most critical senses. And it's kind of annoying to not be able to hear what's going on in the world. It's like this restrictive feeling where all you can hear is this music or podcast that's blasting full volume in your ears, and you're unable to hear what's going on around you and what's going on. You can't hear if someone wants to strike up a conversation with you. You can't hear someone if they just say good morning or hello to you. You can't hear someone when they're just asking you whether you're using a piece of equipment. And if you can't hear what other people are saying to you, as well as this stigma of people not wanting to approach other people that have headphones or AirPods in their ears, well then no one's ever going to approach you or strike up a conversation. And as I was saying earlier, it means you're just siphoned off from society and you're unable to actually engage with other people, which of course is so detrimental. I also think that when you have something blasting in your ears full volume when you're outside, you're also less likely to be the one that approaches someone else, because if you have music at full volume going on in your ears, why on earth would you try to say hello or good morning to someone when you're not even going to be able to hear what they say back to you? I think that when you take the AirPods out, when you take the headphones off, you're more likely to engage in society generally. You're more likely to just strike up a random conversation with a stranger. You're more likely to say good morning, say a simple hello. You're more likely to just fist bump someone at the gym that you normally see there. Engaging with other people that you don't necessarily know and people that aren't necessarily your friends or your family is, I think, something that's very normal and natural even. Like if you take your dog for a walk, it always randomly goes up to all these other dogs and barks at them, or maybe even starts like licking their ass. And of course, you don't have to go to the extent of licking someone else, but it just goes to show that animals, which includes humans, have a natural tendency to just communicate with one another, even when you don't necessarily know or have a prior existing connection with that person. When you take the AirPods out, you're 95 or even 99% more likely to engage in this natural form of communication with other people. And I think that's extremely healthy and will make you feel better. This also bleeds into my next point, which is just being present and allowing yourself and your brain time to think. Within today's day and age, there are so many distractions and there are so many things that keep our brain constantly occupied, whether that be through notifications on your phone or generally you just using your phone. You might be using your computer. You might be speaking to another person. And when your brain is just constantly stimulated with something, it doesn't have ample time or an ability to just think. Like, honestly, when was the last time that you were just existing within the world with absolutely zero external stimulation? Right now, you're watching this YouTube video, which is a form of stimulation. You might be listening to music when you go for a walk. You might have notifications that go off on your phone, which your brain has to give focus to. When you don't let your brain have zero things to focus on, and when there's no external stimulation, your brain is finally allowed to actually think through problems that you might be having in your life, any challenges that have presented themselves, and you might also get creative ideas when your brain has ample opportunity to think. Music and also podcasts are something that stifles your brain's ability to think because your brain devotes all of its attention to the music or to the podcast. The last point is that listening to music all the time when you train means that you can become reliant on it in order to be motivated to work out. I feel like we all know the feeling of waiting for the beat to drop in the song we're listening to, or waiting for that really hype up part of the song before we hit a set, because that gives us some extra bit of motivation in order to do that extremely difficult set. This is something that David Goggins has spoken about, where he thinks that listening to music while you exercise is almost cheating because you're relying on this form of external motivation in order to get through your difficult workout. And his point is that what happens when you don't have the music around anymore? Are you still going to be able to perform to the best of your ability when there's no longer any music to motivate you? What happens if you get into a fight randomly? Are you gonna have the opportunity to be like, hang on, wait 1 second while I just put my AirPods in and play this rap song in order to hype me up so I can fight you more effectively? No. Of course, that's a bit of a extreme and rare scenario, and it might not happen to you all the time, but the point is that listening to music all the time while you train can be something that strips you of your internal motivation. And internal motivation can bleed into other aspects of your life as well. So those are the reasons why I've recently taken a step back from music. If you learned something, or if you enjoyed, or it motivated you to make a change, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Also, feel free to leave a like and a comment if you agree or disagree. Always happy to discuss.